Hello and welcome back. It's been a little bit, but today I've got this is the Blade HQ exclusive Spyderco Para 3 in M4. And this actually was my knife. I was thinking back today, I think this was my very first Spyderco that I ever bought. And it wasn't too terribly long after the Para 3 came out and they started, releasing different variants or whatever. But yeah, this was my first Spyderco, and currently right now, well, for the last couple years anyways, I gave this knife to my mother-in-law. She was traveling on the way here to come visit, and there were some weirdos at a gas station, and she asked me about a knife, and I was going to give her a Microtech, my UTX 85, but I don't think it's legal in the state where she lives. So basically I just let her pick out a knife, and it was this one. So just a couple changes I did before I gave it to her. I did put in a sharpening choil, and I've got a non-matching Lynch clip. Lynch clips, when I was buying them for the Para 3, they were very, very difficult to come across. This was the only color option that we had, or that was available at the time, so that's the one I bought, and that's the one we have. But yeah, so I've got this one, and also my mother-in-law is visiting right now, so she brought this. And my father-in-law, I gave him this knife. This is the Sage, and put a choil in this thing too for him. And he asked that she brought this along for him for me to touch up as well. But so yeah, today we're going to get back on here on the M4, and I'm surprised this steel, it's still really sharp. Man, this M4 is something else. She's been using the heck out of this, and it's been quite some time since I sharpened it, but it's still got a nice edge on it. But I am going to go ahead and touch it up. The tip needs a little attention, and we're just going to clean it up and put a little oil in there and send her on her way. All right, let me move the camera and we'll get going. Okay, got it all set up and got a fresh cup of coffee, so we're good to go. So for everybody following at home, I sharpened my Para 3, well, my mother-in-law's. I've got a piece of chamois, and I've got the blade set at A and 1/2, and it's in the top holes, and I'm running a 15-degree edge. So those are the settings that I use. And that's pretty consistent with the factory bevel one here that came with it. Maybe a little bit skinnier, so I kind of opened it up just a little bit, but nothing crazy. Make sure this is tight. But yeah, the edge was in pretty good shape for the most part. Like I said, the tip kind of had a little bit of roundedness to it, but overall I was really impressed with how well this M4 has really been hanging on. So I'm just kind of scrubbing a little bit here, just get out any imperfections there, and I'm going to be spending a little bit of extra time on the tip, and also a little bit of extra time on the right side. The last time I sharpened this knife, I was pretty early on in my sharpening career, I guess you could say, with this Wicked Edge, and the bevel is a little bit lopsided from the factory, which is common from everybody. So as I look down the edge here, this edge is skinny, this one's a little bit more obtuse here, so we're going to spend just a little bit of extra time on this right side over here just to try to get that down a little bit. I am starting on the 400 grit, so it's moderately aggressive here. I don't need to put the 100 or the 200 on here. Didn't need that much adjustment, but M4 is a pretty hard steel, and I didn't feel like jacking around, taking all the time in the world, strictly on the higher grit stones. Okay. I think we're just about there with the tip. Maybe just a little bit more here. Yeah, after I bought this knife, I immediately put it into hard use. It was my thumper, man. This thing, I beat the shit out of this knife. Used it for absolutely everything. This was my first nice knife that I had. Hello, cuckoo clock. This is my first nice knife that I had that I just said, screw it, I'm gonna beat the hell out of this thing. And I did. And I have to say, this M4 is awesome. I really, having it back here at home, I haven't had an M4 knife since. And it's kind of got me doing a little bit of thinking. Switching over to the 600 now. Yeah, I'm not certain which knife I would go for in the M4. I think there was one that's always kind of had my eye that I never quite felt strongly enough about to purchase, and that was the Spyderco Gale Bradley 2. I really like the blade shape of that. It kind of is somewhat, to my eyes anyways, a little bit reminiscent of a Sebenza blade shape, just with a Spidey hole in it. And I think the thing for me that turns me off about it, I really don't like Spyderco's approach to their carbon fiber scales, you know, it's where it's just G10 with the laminate on it, and that kind of seems a little bit cheese dick to me. But that is a full-size knife in M4 steel, and I think it does look pretty good. And from what I understand, it's got a pretty nice grind on it. I believe it's hollow ground even. So hollow ground, you know, roughly 3.5 inch blade. That's kind of right in my wheelhouse of things I do like. So, okay, moving on. Can't remember if I wiped this or not. But yeah, at first I was kind of like, when I first gave this knife to my mother-in-law, I was like, oh. But another thing, kind of having it here back in hand, I do like this knife a lot, but these days, I think I'd go Para 2, PM2 over a Para 3 all day. Just, I got giant stupid hands, and this Para 3 is just a little bit too small. I'd rather have something that fills my hand up. I did go back and forth when I remember the night that I was on Blade HQ getting ready to buy this thing. I was going back and forth because they did have the uncoated blades as well, but obviously I went with the black coated here, but just because it's a non-stainless steel M4, so I wanted the coating just because I knew I was gonna carry it often and beat the hell out of it, but at the same time, putting a little bit of a patina on knives is kind of cool. So I don't know, if I were to do it again, I'd probably go with the uncoated blade. The sharpening choil is working wonders back here. I've got a video where I cut in a sharpening choil just like this. Put on my Shaman. Super easy, just a Dremel, and it's got like a cone-shaped bit in the pack that I have, and just sit there and just grind it down, and that's that. Man, I'm really starting to think that I need to get some new. There, that rod was kind of unthreading itself a little bit, but I think I'm getting to the point where I need to get some new hardware for my sharpener here. Everything's starting to seem a little worn out. This thing's got some miles on it. Okay, by the way, this is the 1500 and 2200 grit diamond stone, and we are almost done. Starting to see a decent little bit of the shine off of here. In certain angles anyways. Whoops. Alright. And finally one more stone. I've got the 3000 with the glass platings. We're going to skip the glass today because I'm not going to put a polished edge on this, but I've really been digging. This is the latest diamond stone that I bought, and I really dig the edge that it leaves behind. All right, we're just about there. Moving on to the last step today. So happy in here too. Let's see. It is 69 degrees in my house. We had that AC blasting the last 2 days because it was out. The blower motor on my furnace went out, and so we bought this house about 2 years ago, and it came with a 2-year factory warranty, or home warranty. And it was just getting ready to expire, and my wife said, you know what, it's an old house, this house was made 101 years ago that we're in right now, so she's like, you know what, it probably wouldn't hurt just to re-up on the home warranty. So she did, but there was a 30-day gap between when the initial warranty ran out and where the re-upped policy took place, and that blower motor went out in that 30 days. And so the first couple nights were rough. Well, basically we were just like, you know what, screw it, we can ride this out. And the first couple days were rough. Like the day it died, it was like 92 degrees outside or something, but it was cool previously, so that one wasn't terrible. But then it got humid for a couple nights. But then after that, we had a nice spell of really nice cool days. Like it was getting down into the low 60s, upper 50s at night, so it was all fine while we were waiting. So that was like a week worth of niceness, where we'd probably have the windows open anyways. Excuse me. But then, yeah, now we're in the midst of a heat wave, and it's been no less than 95 degrees here, and just humid as shit. And so anyways, the new warranty went active. Had a guy come out like the first day, and he changed a capacitor on the thing, and that lasted about 2 hours before it blew again. And so we called him back, and he said, okay, yeah, it's the blower motor. So that was on Friday last week, and so then we had to ride it out through the weekend, and he was able to get here on, or wait, no, I'm talking out of my ass. That was on Monday he was here. Then he was able to come back on Tuesday. But Tuesday morning, I woke up and it was 84 degrees in this house at 8:30 in the morning. It was like, holy shit, it was terrible. So anyways, they changed the blower motor, and that poor air conditioner's been just cranking ever since, man. It's been fighting it, but we finally got it down to where it's nice, cool, and not humid. So, okay, I think we are, had a piece of leather on the edge. I thought I put a chip on the edge, but it was just a piece of leather or something. Okay, I'm gonna shut the camera off and we'll take a close look at this here in just a second. All right, so this is how it turned out. Pretty good looking edge on there. So the strop, wasn't necessarily trying to achieve a polished edge with that. It's just more to completely refine the edge and knock off any little tiny bit of a burr that may or may not be on there. So that little glob of shit right there, that's super glue. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was using some super glue, and then I don't know, somehow, some way got it on my knife. And it's been very difficult to get off. So it's been there for about 3 years now, and that's fine. But yeah, this knife, Spyderco's coating, and a lot of coatings too, when you use alcohol in a wipe to just clean things off, it really leaves like a powdery and dry look to the finish on the knife. Just trying to clean some of this funk off of here. Yeah, you can see it's kind of real dry and powdery on there, but we've got the remedy for that. I am going to, sorry, we're just doing a quick tune-up on this thing while we've got it here. I am going to just run a Q-tip down in here, get any purse funk and stuff like that out of there. That's not too bad. A little bit of funk, nothing crazy. But anyways, I've got some, come on, 10 weight nano oil. And when I don't disassemble a knife, I usually like to just get it halfway open. And right in here, you can usually get pretty close to your washers or bearings and put in a little drop or two right there. Oops. Work that in, make sure the action stays nice. This oil's gonna drip all over my table if I don't cap it. Okay, almost done. Last thing we're gonna do is make it look a little nicer. Yeah, I really wish I could get that off of there. I've tried like a lot of times to do that, but it just won't. And it's awfully close to the edge, and you can't tell, I tend to keep my knives nice and sharp. So anyways, this is, what is this? 85 weight nano oil. Just gonna put a little dab on there. And just rub this in. So I am making sure to get the exposed edge of the knife, the non-coated edge. On the black, it's mostly just for aesthetics. Just kind of give it that dark, glossy look. That's way too much oil, by the way. You can see the difference. I mean, it's pretty sloppy right now, but it's whatever. But, so this does two things. One, it makes it look better, I think. Kind of get rid of that powdery look that I was talking about. And also, if you get it on the edge with a non-stainless steel, it will help to protect it long term, so no corrosion or rust or anything like that should come of it for a while. That is a lot, so I'm just gonna take a wipe with no alcohol on it. See if that helps. Yeah, it kind of knocks it down a little bit. But that's about it. There she is. The old Para 3. Still out here rocking. Let's look at this. That, my friends, is a crispy, crispy edge. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to get me an M4 knife again. This steel is awesome. Sharp, 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 sharp. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna do the Sage off camera. This doesn't hold an edge nearly as much. This knife is about 3 years younger than this knife, and I've sharpened it twice as many times. And yeah, S30 just doesn't hold a candle to M4. But I mean, this will slice butter, but you know, the way they showed up here to me today, they both get used and thumped on, and M4 is just freaking sweet. Gotta get me some. Okay, I'm out of here. See you guys.